Hello everyone. All of you must have heard the name CERN, CERN. CERN is nothing but it is a European funded research organization. They do a lot of research in the field of fundamental physics and particle physics. It's very similar to Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, because what happens is that very less work is being done in fundamental research, because fundamental research, the difference between fundamental research and technological research is that technological research can be sold to the customers. So a lot of companies like Apple, like OpenAI, like Google, they invest a lot of money in technological research, because now whatever money you put in the research, you can productize it, you can create the new iPhone, and then you can sell it to the consumers. But the problem with fundamental research is that there is no product. The advantage of fundamental research may be realized 10 years later, 20 years later, 40 years later. For example, a lot of work in quantum mechanics was done in early 20th century, right? Theory of relativity was there, photoelectric effect was there, semiconductor research happened in 1920s, 30s and 40s, but it took another 20, 30, 40 years for Intel to take advantage, and the semiconductor industry, and now the entire internet, is because fundamental research was done like almost 100 years ago. So the only people who can do this kind of research is the government. So CERN is one of those European government funded institution. It is a French acronym, CERN. I don't know what it, I know what it stands for, but I cannot pronounce it. But it means European Council for Nuclear Research. And this is the place that has the Large Hadron Collider. And the Higgs boson particle was discovered in CERN in 2012. Now, why do I talk about CERN? Because mostly we talk about technology. The reason I'm talking about it is because Tim Berners-Lee worked at CERN, and in 1992, in 1989, Tim Berners-Lee created two things that we are using every day. One is the HTML and one is the URL. HTML is the hypertext markup language. That is the language that you use when you read anything on the internet. When you read Times of India, when you read New York Times, whatever is written over there, that is because of HTML. And the URL is nothing but Universal Resource Locator. That is the web address, www.google.com. That is the URL. www.timesofindia.com. That is the URL. So these two things were found in CERN by Tim Berners-Lee, and that became the foundations of the World Wide Web. Can you imagine internet without URL and HTML? No. So that is what happened in Europe. During the same time, there was another parallel work being done in University of Illinois. So there was this National Center for Supercomputing Application in University of Illinois, and most people don't realize back in the days the internet, the World Wide Web was just black and white, right? You send a text and the image comes back. It was black and white. What we are using right now, what you are probably using right now, is called a browser, right? Internet Explorer. You might be using Internet Explorer or Firefox or Safari. So these are the browsers that nicely and easily tell you where to go on the internet. But back in the days, there was no browser. So this group of students at University of Illinois created a world's first browser in 1993. They named it Mosaic. Mark Andreessen was part of that group, and only few months after the Mosaic was invented, Tim Berners-Lee talked to his superiors in CERN and said that this technology is too important to keep it closed source, and we should not charge for this, so let us make it open source and free. So Tim Berners-Lee and Son released the intellectual property rights for HTML and URL, and anybody can use it for free in 1992. in 1993. And this single act of giving away HTML and URL for free created the foundation of the modern internet. And this is the sole reason, this is one of the many reasons why a great company was born in Silicon Valley called Netscape. And Netscape created the browser, and that ushered in, this was 1992-1993 when President Bill Clinton became the president in 1992, and this ushered in the greatest gold rush in Silicon Valley. From 1992 to 2000, if you see all the companies are founded, it will be amazed. I'm going to make a new video for that. But my central point for this video is that HTML and URL was invented in Europe, in CERN. They made it free for anybody in the world to use. Nobody in China used it, nobody in India used it, nobody in Germany, Japan, Australia, nobody took the advantage of it. Even in America, nobody took advantage of that at Harvard, at MIT. It is Mark Andreessen and Jim Clark. We can talk about that later. These are the two people who started Netscape browser company, used this free stuff available from Europe, and created one of the most iconic companies in Silicon Valley, which laid the foundation for American dominance on the internet. So there you go. Even when technology is given freely, only few take advantage of it, and those people generally happen to be in these United States. And this is why America probably leads the world in a lot of things: the entrepreneurial spirit, the inquisitiveness, the willingness to be alert and figure out what is available and what can be built. All these innate things that are needed, no government policies can implement that. This has to come from the people, this has to come organically from the students, it has to come from the culture, it has to come from the upbringing of the kids by the parents who give them freedom to do whatever they want to do. It is a combination of like so many things that resulted into Netscape being born in Silicon Valley, California, instead of anywhere in the world. And that created an amazing gold rush and dozens and dozens of billionaires in these United States. Thanks for watching this video. Until next time, bye bye.